Welcome back to the Crust, and this time in Sandbox. So I've obviously done stuff, as you can see, because I did not want to start the series from the very beginning. I've spent, I don't know, does the save game tell me how long I've spent? No, it don't. Just tells you that the time is at the middle of the night. So yeah. This is the surface, and I'm building stuff here a little bit different than the last time. You know, learning and stuff like that. That's a good thing. And yes, I do understand that some of you were disappointed by my decision to not continue the campaign series, but just quickly before we go to the subterranean layer, the main reason that I decided not to do it is not that I don't think I would be able to provide the resources, because there is actually a fairly good chance that within 5.5 years I might actually have enough production. Although the modular frames and the biological components, the stuff you get from the nanotubes, and what are the other ones called? Nanotubes, carbon fiber. Those would have been a challenge, especially since I did not have any personnel. The main thing that I think would actually stop me would be the final phase. And yes, I've looked up, although I think the numbers have been adjusted from the ones that I saw in the Steam forums. But it requires high-level personnel. You need 3 high-level engineers or something like that, and I didn't have a single person in my base at the time. So yeah, that was the main reason I think I would not be able to do it even in 5.5 years, because I have no idea how long it takes to level them up. There is also the other additional factor, which is that some of the bugs they've fixed have actually only been applied to new save games. And I've noticed that this has been a far simpler game in terms of bugs and stuff like that, so that seems to be the truth. So yeah, I will definitely give the campaign a try when I have more understanding of how the game works and stuff like that. I'm not sure if this is the most efficient way of doing things either, so maybe things will change in the future. For now, let's go back down to the subterranean level, where I'm doing some cleanup stuff currently. As you can see, there are ore belts coming from all over the place here, and there's a room here, which is basically just for the CPU. I started out on easy. It doesn't really affect the game that much, but it does give me some better mission rewards, I think, because let's see here. Full funding from Crust, that's 350,000 credits, which I started with. 120 blue and 120 orange signs for 200 days. I had 12 standard drones, 250 CPU, and increased resources for start. That's just the basic resources. I just started with a bit more of the concrete, steel, silicon, titanium plates, components, and microcircuits. And also lowered expedition difficulty. I have no idea what that is, to be honest. I've set up the MRR assembly again. This time I did it a bit differently, based on a tip that I got from Alex Hudson in the comments, where if you flip every second one, you actually get a tighter fit here. But it's basically the same as it was in the last campaign save. So 2 down here for aluminium, 2 here for titanium, 2 here for silicon, and 2 here for iron, and then 1 here for the generic regolith from the ground. And just as a little tip that I've discovered, if you build any building, instead of doing this on 1 by 1, if you build any building that you have, let's say a large bulk storage, as long as the game is paused, because you don't want the game to be unpaused when you do this, because then the drones will start transporting the resources. Say I wanted to clear this area of regolith. I just place these like that, then I go and salvage them, and would you look at that? It's now high priority. So that is actually a simple way to get rid of regolith on the ground. I'm not sure if it has affected my frame rate, but I'm actually seeing FPS up towards 50. But I think the main issue with the frame rate is really the belts. So, yeah. I've also prepared, I haven't powered them up yet, but I've prepared smelters. And we're kind of in an interim period where I don't have the base doing anything. Let's start powering up these MRRs and smelt some ore. The belt for the slag is definitely the wrong speed, so I'm going to have to do something about that. But that's kind of what I wanted to see now. How much slag am I producing? This one is producing 44, so that's a lot. This is the basic regolith, so obviously that one would be producing more slag than the others. These others are 14, 20, 20, 20, 20. Okay, so let's assume 25 per. So that would be 50, 100, 150, 200, and then 50 for this, so 250. Do I have belts that actually go to that speed? I have Mark III belts that go to 240. So how do I do this in the most sensible way? 1, 2, 1, 2. I don't know if it actually upgrades. It does upgrade. I can see the little belt pieces changing color in there. This should be a tad expensive, but I believe we can afford it. Okay, now this belt here, I can upgrade the old-fashioned way. And 3, so that should be 240 per minute. And it's transporting the slag up to this. There's some crap on the ground here that I would like the drones to pick up. The belts seem to be the correct speed. So this is 36, 35. Okay, so the belts are not the correct speed. 29, 28. Okay, so they really need to be Mark II. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using these, it's because they seem to be more reliable than the splitters. It also gives me a kind of a visual here. And these are the reason why the belts look as if they are moving at the correct speed, of course, because they are filling up. Let's just leave the belts for now, and I need to start producing brick. However, the first and foremost thing that I definitely need to do is to build that repeater thing. That should be under logistics. I should have all of this. See if we can build the repeater. Five, 6. Can I? No. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You might be wondering why I did it like that. This is the reason. We have 50 drones. 40 of them are basic drones and 10 of them are miners. And I've mined out a fair amount of space, and I'm still working on mining out more. So we're mining out all of the space that's... Oh, here's a node we haven't scanned yet. I expect we'll find more of those. So I'm basically mining out all of this in its entirety, all the way up here, and then remove this, just so we get to the edge here. Something doesn't have power. Yeah, that would be the smelters. I'm going to let these fill up with the oxides before I power them on. I'm also not sure if I want the bus to go this way or that way, which is why I've left 2 spaces here in case I want them to go both ways. But we'll get around to that when it's time to deal with that. Now, okay, this is done, so we can remove these and this. I do believe that means this belt is done too, so we can remove that. That's a little bit of money back. I have one drone reconfiguration module here, and I have the other one up here. I'm also actually using the power grid more correctly this time, so it's the maximum distance between each of them.
The repeater has begun working, and you will now regularly discover new signals on the moon's surface.
Excellent. Because my Rover has just been collecting signs, not doing much for a long time. Okay, let's go to the idle rover, and how did I not find this? I've scanned the areas around here extensively. Investigate that. Aluminium, ice, and iron. That's definitely an iron node. This map has not been generous with the titanium. So I would like to find more titanium. No, we're not ready for that. I'm not making any of the advanced resources yet. In fact, at the moment, I'm not making any resources at all. But I haven't made any of the advanced resources, is what I meant. Having a two-way lane here is actually beneficial regardless, because I also need to get resources over here. Alternatively, I could actually use those lifts this time. 2 seconds, I just need to lower my desk. There we go. Another thing that I also probably should mention is that occasionally you might hear my breathing in my recordings. If you do, the main reason for that is that I tend to change sitting positions fairly often when I'm using the computer. And but I have my microphone on a boom arm thing, springs and all that stuff. And positioning the microphone well every time I change my sitting position is challenging, to put it diplomatically. So that is the reason why occasionally you will hear my breathing noises, and I apologize for it, but there's not really that much I can do about it. I did try once upon a time to use some filters to eliminate the issue, but the result of that was that since I tend to mumble a bit when I record, especially if I'm focused on stuff, the result was that my voice started cutting out, which, well, I hope that you will agree with me that it's better to hear my breathing occasionally than it is to not hear what I actually am saying. I'm still just cleaning up now, as you probably figured out. This might not even be the final positions of it, or rather, this won't be the final positions of it, of the various resources, but I just need to have somewhere to put them, which is within reasonable distance of the elevator. I saw Wally was doing some highly profound stuff with transporting the resources up to the surface and then having it in a loop and then feeding the air control station with that. That needs 1 duralumin plate and 3 level 3 engineers. I don't think we're going to be able to do that anytime soon. A camp housing human survivors of a lunar catastrophe. Unexplained explosion severely damaged critical installations on the far side of the moon, crippling the Hope series orbital stations. This event triggered a chain reaction that disrupted communications and control systems, resulting in the destruction of vital infrastructure and widespread chaos. In the aftermath, survivors either dispersed to evacuation sites or remained at their posts. As they await rescue missions or endeavor to rebuild lunar facilities, they are open to bartering supplies for much-needed materials with other survivors. I mean, you'd think if I gave them this, they would give me these, but apparently not. Another thing that I saw in the previous series was that I was dramatically overproducing, or I don't know if dramatically is the correct word, but at least I was overproducing without a doubt stuff like components and electronics. I didn't have the actual production in my factory to accommodate all the stuff that I was producing. So I'm going to have a look at that in this new series, I suppose. Okay, so that should be the last. Let's make sure that I set this to... Don't disappear on me. I need to set that to allow. This one should also be an allow. This one should be on allow. And then this one should be connected up like that, but also set to allow. Just need to make sure. This one is probably set to forbid, yeah, because it's connected up with a belt. There is some logic in the game that ensures that. Okay, where do I want this to go? I did make sure that we have enough resources. Something here... Oh, that belt's going the wrong way. The Rover is idle again. This is an extraction... Ooh. Yes, please. That's useful stuff. Let's see, there's a transit station down here. There is one question mark I haven't investigated on purpose. Or rather, I have investigated it, but I haven't picked this up. There's a fraction of hope. For the campaign, I believe that is a trigger for the asteroid. I don't know if the asteroid happens in the sandbox mode, but if it does, I don't want it to trigger until I actually have people, so I'm going to stay away from that one. 4 modules offline, yeah, that would be the ice extractors. Haven't bothered with that yet. You can be forbidden now. Remove. All of this is, most of this is actually stuff I've picked up from expeditions. Okay, let's just have a look around here. What am I storing in this? I don't think that's needed anymore. Used it for aluminium oxide, but apparently that's been filled up over here. I did intend to make fuel down here, but never got around to it. Okay, so all of the refineries or furnaces are now full, so let's power them up. I've built 6 of them. I'm not sure if that is the optimal configuration. It might be 10, but we'll see. The main point of building 6 is that I think they're producing just enough of the metal that having 6 of them equals 1 belt of 60. No, that's 3 in 1 minute, so this is nowhere near producing 60. I could upgrade them, but I don't want to spend money on that. Aluminium is the one that I'm producing the least of currently, whereas silicon is the one that I'm producing the most of. But we also need to set up production of smart concrete. So that's coming out there. Virgin contract available? Yeah, no. So I'd like to go down one. Flip. I might actually build 4 of them this time. The main issue being... I need to leave 1 more space there. That's why I tore them down again. Okay, so this comes out. Yeah, so there and flip. Belts, please. I do not need Mark III. Okay, so this... If I go down like this... then I don't get 2 splitters beside one another. Build all. It might help if I actually have the belt connection there as well. This will split off silicon oxide in this one. Which means that I do believe we should upgrade the belts for silicon. I also think, based on what I'm seeing here, that we should upgrade the belts for the other oxides as well. So I'm just going to do that. This is 60 per minute. I'm using 24 currently. We also need power for this. That's handy. And we've emptied out this.
Delivered.
Let's unload this. Also, I have rare earth minerals just here behind the smelters, because that way I can have a couple of rare earth mineral furnaces or refineries or whatever you want to call them at the backside, pointing up, so that I can have a belt of rare earth elements coming out from that, which will make it easier for me than what I did in the campaign game. Earth at 50%. Sure, I'm gonna take that contract. Send resources. Ugh. Change cargo pod to larger. Send, and then the rest of the concrete we can do in faster, and send. I also know that, based on the talks that I've had with Wally, that he prefers using only the small pods because he doesn't see the point in paying the additional costs for the larger ones. While I tend to agree with him, there is one factor that actually makes it worth using the larger ones. When you're using the drones, there is a temporary delay between when the capsule lands and you are allowed to load up the station that the capsule has landed upon. Now, this might be different when you have the air traffic controller, but when you're using this, that little time between this landing and this taking off and the next one landing will send your drones off to do other things in the meantime. And if that other thing is all the way up here, for instance, you lose time. Now, what I would like to do, if it is available, I've noticed that drones or robots usually are... Oh, they're actually available at a sensible price. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. This I do not use the higher cost pods for, because that's a waste of money on these. I did that in the campaign and I realized what the heck's the point of doing that. It doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so we have 10 more drones. I think we should consider making a couple of those wherever they are. Logistics probably. Hauling drone reconfigurators, so we can have 10 of those. I'm going to build 2 of those here. some of these were almost empty as well, so I should pay attention to... it should tell me, but you never know. Private lab. I don't think there's anything else to pick up on the map just yet. I don't have the people to send there. I don't have the medicine to send there. So I will need to explore more of these first. How's our mining coming along? Haven't found any more nodes to mine. Okay, so I'm going to remove these power poles. Contract completed, so that should be 225,000. That's always nice. And I'm also going to mark that one as high priority, so they pick that up. And pick up the stuff on the ground after that, please. There's also one bit of regolith there. Oh, there's also one other thing that I have discovered. If you put out buckets, say you put out buckets that are for collecting regolith, and you put them around the base, like say you put a bucket up here, you put a bucket down here, you put a bucket over here, and you put a bucket up here. That doesn't really make sense, because currently, the way the game logics how to determines is probably the better word. So the way the game determines what bucket it wants to drop off the resource it's collecting in, unless you've put one at increased priority, is that it will go to the bucket that has the least amount of resources. And I believe, but I haven't tested, but I believe that also applies to storages. So if you have buckets placed around the base in, like, say, the 4 different corners, all you'll end up doing is having robots going all the way from over here to the bucket down here, if that's the one that has the least amount of regolith in it, and then it will alternate to the one up here, and then it'll go to the one over here, and then it'll go to the one down here, and so forth in a pattern. So it is actually better to just centralize them like I've done here. I have 2 buckets here that are not full, because this one got full. It might have been beneficial to have 2 of these regolith refineries doing the basic ore. It could upgrade it, but belt speeds and stuff like that. I believe that if I upgrade it, it will go up to 90. It will produce more slag and so forth and so forth. Wasting science points. I haven't shown you guys what science I'm using either, or have researched. But yeah, have these centralized so that all the drones go to one central point. And I've saved some space in case I need 2 more buckets. I don't want to build these large buckets until I have the modular frames at the released up and running, preferably also duralumin, but modular frames is the most expensive of those 2 parts to buy, especially since each of them requires 6 modular frames. Okay, I'm wasting blue science points apparently. You can just quickly have a look at what I've researched. I went all the way down to full recycling of conveyors and wires, and I'm sure you guys understand why I did that. Hauling drone speed? Yeah, that one would be interesting. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. I would like to get it's not here, it's under engineering. I would like to get the modules recycling tech, so that's why I'm trying to get this. But honestly, what I should do is go in here to Crust Solutions to science points, and I should just buy these for all of the 3 color of science, because yeah, that helps. The science income was very low. Okay, so this is done, so we can remove that. Not sure how these are able to keep up the contents. Do I have to upgrade the belts again? Ah, no, I don't. They're staying at the level they were on when I upgraded the belts, so the speed is correct.
The logistics station comprises a complex of buildings, including a large structure built into the crater wall, and several technical buildings in the vicinity. Preliminary scans indicate an inordinate number of people inside the residential block of the station. The facility is owned by the ACIL concern, and their representative is quick to get in touch with.
Hello, Director. I'm glad you're here. Could you support us by providing supplies and spare parts for repairs? There are more people at our station now than we'd planned, and we need help. After the disaster, tons of survivors started flocking to us from all over the area. But we don't have enough food or medicine to feed and treat them, and the life support system has started to wear out due to the increased load.
Survivors have gathered here, forced to huddle together in the cramped quarters of the small station and suffer from a shortage of food and medicine. We could assist them in their accommodating corporations for free, or offer to sell supplies to them. Alternatively, we could refuse to provide any assistance.
Let's offer to help them for the money. If I remember correctly, that was a substantial delivery, and it felt a bit weird to not get anything back for doing it.
Well, Director, we agree with your proposal. All labor must be paid for, right?
Not necessarily, but these guys haven't impressed me.
Everything comes with a price, especially when it comes to food and medicine. It's fortunate that we were able to reach an agreement with the conglomerate, Director.
Research complete.
Okay, so we got that one, which means I can now go for the multi-resource storage. Idle Rover, let's go and research this storage, or investigate it. You're not doing anything, are you? So they want 120 food, 10 medicine, 12 modular frames, and 400 steel. There doesn't seem to be a time limit on that. No, it's not under active contracts, so... Okay, let's extend this with 4 more of each. That would give us 10 of each of these. I also need to pay attention to the power usage now. That's not exactly the power line I intended to build. Okay, so this one is steel. I'm looking forward to them implementing a shortcut button for copying settings. Some of the more... what's the word I'm looking for? That's the entirely the wrong thing. I don't remember the word. some of the more perceptive of you might have noticed that I actually did... Would you stop doing that, game? I actually did take the time to have the ores come in the correct order this time. Well, you could argue whether or not it is correct, but at least I changed the order so that it comes in the order of steel, silicon, titanium, aluminium. And I need to let these fill up before I give them power. Well, I don't need to, but I want to. There we go. I also think I want to build some more batteries. How are we doing on CPU? Not great, to be honest. But I do want to have 15 more batteries. Idle Rover, so we found a storage share that requires organics and steel. Yeah, I don't think I'm interested in that. Let's go investigate this corporate base thing. It would be beneficial to get up production of components and electronics again. To get electronics, I do need to start refining this into rare earth. Wait, it takes 9 per, so this actually was correct. 6 of them. Which means I should probably go to 12. This might be too much. Let me just check the belt speed. 150. Yeah, 12 is fine. Stop that. There we go. And now to set them to the products. I wonder if we get the MDR thing for free here as well. Production, no. Rare minerals, refinery. These produce slag. So, but that's fine, I can hook the slag up here. Let's have 4 of these. Put that grid there. Like so. And we can have a Mark 1 belt, I believe, coming down like... Sometimes it does weird things with the belts. Can you just connect up to the building? Thank you. Nah. Actually, before I do that, let me just connect up 2 of them. Come on, game. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard to connect up a belt to a building.
Research complete.
Oh, for crying out loud. Thank you. Thank you. Oh my god. So this takes 10 per minute. So I can have 6 of these on one belt. I don't know why that's so annoying, but it is really annoying that it doesn't connect it up. So research the smart concrete factory upgrade 1. Let's just have a look here. We're going to get the organic growth 2. And then the vehicle hangar is next.
Research complete.
These take 240 each, so that's rather substantial actually. It produces rare earth elements and slag in abundance. But I do believe we can get away with Mark 1 belt on these. Although this one should be Mark 3. If you're wondering why I'm deleting them, it's because of the supports. Okay, and now we can power up. That was very abrupt music stop. Gonna click F5 there. Go into belts and upgrade. So each of them takes 9. So if I upgrade belt 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe that should be sufficient. I'm going to go with the 7th as well. Might be overkill, but... So that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then these, I'll just upgrade those twice. Okay, the music is doing something weird now. I don't know what. Well, I know what it's doing, but I don't know why it's doing it. There's probably more. It's starting the soundtracks. Oh, I ran out of money. Oops. Let's find a contract that we can fulfill, because running out of money is bad. That one I'm fairly sure we cannot fulfill in good conscience, because I'd like to have some of the materials. $200 green cyanus for 100 silicon. That is very, very lucrative. I'm just going to do that. Standard cargo pod is fine. That puts us in the negative. Aluminium would be good. That one, for instance. Not sure how I ran out of money there. Did I upgrade some belts that I shouldn't have upgraded or something? To be honest, I wasn't paying attention, so... While they're fulfilling that one, we can have a look and see if there's anything else of interest. That's on the moon, so I'm not too interested in doing that. This one looks good. Okay, that should put us back in the surplus. you picking up from these? That strikes me as very stupid. Okay, let's see here. Where did I stop? Seems to happen when I'm zooming in on these buildings. The music thing. Yep, it's definitely happening with the music when I'm zoomed in. If I zoom out again, now the music should be stable. What a weird bug! And why are they collecting stuff from these? Okay, so I do have more than enough room to expand this later. Sheesh, that's just weird. I mean, if they were collecting titanium, that would make sense, but aluminium? That does not make sense. Why would they collect aluminium when I have ample aluminium in the containers just by the lift? So one there, one there, one there, and the final one here. This one is for steel, this one is for silicon, this one is for titanium, and this one is for aluminium.
Research complete.
We get the vehicle hangar, that's good. Let's continue with the hauling drone speed. And speaking of hauling drones, it might actually be a good idea to reconfigure some drones into hauling drones. Okay, now for this fun little bit here. That's 21,000, 23,000, so that's actually quite expensive. This is the Mark 1 conveyor as well, so... Might need to fulfill another contract. I know I haven't powered up all of these yet, but there is a purpose to my madness. It's really bizarre with the music changing so often because of the sound effects. I think that's one of the most odd bugs that I have ever encountered in a game. Okay, so the only one that's being slow is titanium, and that is because I do not mine enough titanium compared to the other ores. Now I can use this path back to put things up near the elevator. No connection, that would be these 24 here. Might as well connect them up now. There we go. Now I have been contemplating making a sort of a guide video for the game, comparable to the ones that I used to do for Ixion and Satisfactory and stuff like that. The only thing that's holding me back is the potential changes that will definitely be added to the game with the patches. So I'm not I'm not sure if it's a good idea or not, but if you guys want me to compile stuff like the tips that are, for instance, the one where you can, say, build a large bulk storage to mark stuff on the ground as high priority, do tell me in the comments, and I will definitely consider it. Also, and this is something that I should mention, I'm not going to be recording everything that I do in this sandbox playthrough, so I will probably do a bit of things with this and this, and prepare where I'm going to build the manufacturing facilities. I'm suspecting that I will be using the area up here, because this is a large area that doesn't really contain anything. And I might want to redirect this belt before I do, because it's kind of in the middle of the way. But undergrounds, that's a nice thing. Then I might also, or I need to complete some more contracts to get some more money. So that gives you a basic overview of what I might be doing in between episodes, just so you are all aware of that. Now, I'm producing bricks, but it's going horrendously slow. The hauler drones are actually transporting stuff to the container. Should probably be using a belt for that. And I also need to build more of these because I'm not using enough. Okay, so how I'm gonna do this? Oh, that's handy. For the oh, doesn't really matter how I do this. That one I think I'm going to take out that way though, because I do not want to deal with splitters being too close to one another, since that is known to cause issues. We'll do the same weird thing over here. And then we need some power. I suppose I can belt these now? Before I do though, bricks is something that we are going to require an awful lot of. Of course it was 1, 2. Yeah, I definitely need to complete some contracts. These take 48 each, so that means I need to upgrade some belt.
Director, the repeater has picked up an unusual signal, seemingly emanating from a mobile drilling rig that was hit by the explosion. These colossal machines serve as self-contained lunar regolith mining platforms. They are scarce and costly, but deploying them in resource-rich areas has proven highly lucrative for our business. We mustn't let this opportunity slip away. We must investigate the signal site immediately.
Well, that answers my question on that. Now, could you give me a good reason why you didn't build a splitter there, game? Might also be an idea to set these to concrete. Okay, so there is where is that? Mining site. Okay, so that's where the mobile drilling rig is. Storage, refinery. Let's send the rover up to the storage and investigate that. Yeah, the titanium and the aluminium is definitely depleting. Have I found anything else out here? Absolutely nothing, interestingly enough. Probably should bother to scan, but we have a capacity of 35 million. But that's one. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 5 between here. Yeah. The 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1. And there should be 2 between. I would do the same here. That should give 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, that is actually correct. Not enough CPU. Oops. I want to move this room that I built for the CPU, because CPU room does not require water or oxygen or anything like that, so I want to move that somewhere else. I'm not sure where though, but I'm definitely going to move it, so that's also something that I'll probably be doing in between episodes, because building those rooms take forever. So I need to spot out something good for that, because we have... probably will use this for fuel, to be honest, but we have this area down here. Apparently I'm wasting science as well. Let's have a look at research quickly. I'm wasting blue science. That one has blue. Know if I need assembler 2 for a very, very long time yet. That one. We need that one. So yeah, I'll find a different location for that room, so that maybe somewhere out of the way, like up here. we are definitely running out of ore in some of these mines. There's 4,000 left, 2,002, 1,260, ouch. There I can't see it. 3628, 10,000. Didn't I have some titanium up here? No, this is aluminium. I really need to find more titanium. I also need to hook this up back here. That is a very long belt, so that's going to be a lot of the various minerals hanging out on a massively long belt going all the way over here. Not really sure if that's the best solution for that either. But yeah, I think that we can wrap up the episode here. I'll try to continue the episodes or recordings like I did in the previous series, but little bit of maintenance work in between each episode. Sometimes I'll probably record them back to back though, like I did with most of the previous episodes that were released last week. So yeah, for now, if you do have any questions and or comments, then please do feel free to leave those down in the comment section. And of course, if you help out with the YouTube algorithm, deities and so forth, and consider just leaving some minor sass or an emoji or something down there. It's always appreciated. I hope that you enjoyed the episode, and I hope that you look forward to the continuation of this. This is definitely going to be more relaxed when you don't have to worry about that laser thing. So yeah, I hope to see you all next time.